Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from views of comics new and old to history to anecdotes, really wherever our whims take us. Listen, what can I say? I like weddings. It's not Lois for once, but we're going back to the first on-panel superhero wedding, which happens to be between Aquaman and Mera. This is in issue 18 of Aquaman from the year 1964. Silver Age, here we come. Aquaman has had a fascinating and shifting history, and portrayals that since the Super Friends resulted in his widespread memification have been largely reactionary. Aquaman hails from the Golden Age, but much of his recognizable backstory and lasting supporting cast arise in the Silver Age. Mera herself had only debuted in Aquaman number 11 in 1963, so only a few issues in they ended up getting married. And this story, oh, it goes so many places, including Aquaman ending up in a dungeon and as a servant. You know you want to know. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join us on this comic book journey. This story was written by Jack Miller with art by Nick Cardy. The cover is the wedding, and well, no bait here, but this in no way encapsulates the madness we're about to enjoy together. Robin looks real smug in the back there. Also, Green Arrow is here on the cover, but not in the issue. The fandom page makes a big deal about this, trying to explain where is he? He must be off panel. I don't think it's that deep, but I do appreciate the concern and commitment to ask the question, did Aquaman snub Green Arrow? These are the thoughts that will keep you up at night. It really happens. The marriage of the century. Is it really though? We'll be the judge of that. Chapter 1, The Wife of Aquaman. Our teaser page depicts Aquaman being presented with a row of women he must choose one from as his bride. But I don't want to marry any of them. Mo money, mo problems. Aquaman and Aqualad are returning to Atlantis because the king is dead, something that everybody is super chill about. Who has been elected to succeed him as king? Elected as king? I have questions, Atlantis. Anyway, the people voted for Aquaman, which he isn't super thrilled about. He even tries to wiggle out of it by pulling the whole, but I'm a hero, I'm too busy to be the king. But he's told that he can patrol, there's no conflict there, it's fine. This monarchy is super relaxed. And they crown him then and there. Man, doesn't even get a festival or some ceremony. This is too casual even for me, and casual is in my channel name. And now, Aquaman, ancient law requires you must select a girl from Atlantis as your wife. What? Let me try that again, a bit manlier. What? I can't not say that in a non-wacky sitcom-esque fashion. Look at his face is calling for it. All of these Atlantean damsels are unwed. Ooh, great damsels. Do they come with a preference on how they'd like to be saved? Aquaman protests that he's not in love with any of them. I mean, I don't think he's even seen half of them before. When he's told that it's the custom, he bails with a flimsy, oh look, gotta go on patrol. He's trying to figure out what to do when he spots Mera being chased by a man atop some form of sea creature. Key things to note, Mera has a backstory that is changing and complex. It can be incredibly convoluted, but here's what you need to know for this time period. In the beginning, she is queen of an underwater kingdom from a parallel dimension called Dimension Aqua. She would have powers upon her first appearance, which you need to know because they're going to be taken in this story. It's also why she's currently in full damsel mode. But Aquaman is able to save her thanks to his mastery of sea creatures, but Mera has passed out during all of this. Oh man, well at least she was awake to see him make a lasso out of eels. Wouldn't want to miss that. Garth looks really shocked that she's out. The expressions in this comic are intense. Seeing Aquaman stroke her hair as she lies there prompts Garth to ask, does he love her? Or is he just a creepy hair stroker? Yes, Aqualad, I guess I've always been in love with her, but I never realized it until now. Yes, the prospect of marrying a total stranger when it's something you hadn't planned for does make the people who you know more appealing. Look at her face in this panel. I'm torn between appreciating that they're acknowledging that she's jacked up, but also wondering if Arthur put her on the good stuff. He asks her why she's without her powers, and so we get her tale. The interdimensional portal, or rather the ray that keeps it open, is burning out. This was her only way to visit Aquaman, and she was told by her advisor that there was only enough for one more trip. Well, Mera decided when it comes down between being queen and visiting Aquaman for some reason. Forgive me, my dear and loyal subjects, but I could not live without Aquaman. We understand, Queen Mera. Go with our love. And so a great civil war erupted in the wake that Queen Mera left. I mean, oh wow, how romantic. Underwater kingdoms sure are chill in the Silver Age. I guess it's not much skin off Mera's nose, she's queen either way. But she isn't the only one who comes through the rift. As it's closing behind her, one of the subjects called Oceanus comes on through. He declares both his love for her and his desire to rule the world, with her at his side. A love confession and a declaration of supervillainy. Oceanus is a multitasker. Be gone, you evil man! I've always hated you. I'll use my powers all right, but against you! Would you like to tell him how you really feel? I've always hated you. Ouch. However, Oceanus has in his possession a ray created by Professor Xeon that can depower their people, and he uses it on her. But now, having caught Arthur up, Mera says it's fine so long as they're together. But Aquaman decides that his life is a romantic comedy, and so he proceeds to explain his situation as inarticulately as possible. You see, I can never marry you. You could have said that so many other ways. Do you just like drama, Arthur? Is it what makes you tick? What? You tell me this after I gave up my people, my kingdom, everything to be with you? Okay, 1, how is he supposed to tell you or even know that was happening? 2, no one asked you to do that. 3, are you unaware of the inarticulate mess of a man you're marrying? His initial response to marrying one of his damsels was, I gotta go. He's king, so really he could do what he wants, but he respects tradition and bureaucracy / hasn't thought of that yet. Mera swims off in a huff and says she hates him and never wants to see him again. She heads to an island to question and reevaluate her life choices when she is snagged by a giant tentacle. Thankfully, Oceanus hasn't watched a lot of hentai, so he just starts monologuing at her. But she says that she doesn't care anymore, and he senses that she's pretty vulnerable, so he decides it's time for another tactic. You see, my dear Mera, I have released you on my own now. Leave me to my loneliness. No, girl, it's a trap. But she falls for it, saying she was wrong about Aquaman, and maybe she's wrong about him too. I really don't like Oceanus' shirt. Him and his awful shirt tell Mera that he's found a kingdom for them to rule under the sea. Somehow she doesn't clue into the fact that he means Atlantis. Or maybe she does and just doesn't care. Oceanus is as direct as ever. Recognize me as your monarch, or die. Clarity and brevity are not Oceanus' flaws. Fashion, pettiness, and grandstanding, though. They say they already have a king, and he replies, well, get rid of him. They say they're gonna fight back, but he summons up a bunch of torpedo-looking fish as his army. And it's too much for them. The tides turn against Aquaman, who they say should have been there. Hey, you voted for this, and you said it would be fine if he went on patrol. He's patrolling. All of this has happened incredibly quickly. Aquaman is still on patrol when he gets the SOS from a signal fish. They must fight their way through the silly-looking torpedo fish, but suddenly the fish transform into bindings and take them to Oceanus and Mera. Chapter 3. Oh yes, we're on chapter 3 already. 3 parts for this. Look at Mera's face, haughtily held up above her heaving bosom. She big mad. Oceanus says he wants to execute them, and when the people plead with Mera for mercy, she replies with, why should I help the man who made a fool of me? I don't care what happens to either of them. Oceanus' face says, I know I'm being used as rebound rebellion / revenge guy, and I'm okay with it. He starts having them constricted to death, but Mera decides that's not good enough. This is hardly suitable revenge what I've suffered at Aquaman's hands, Oceanus. Yes, my king, an idea to humiliate Aquaman as he humiliated me. No one told you to leave. We'll be needing some servants, won't we? That's right, she keeps them around as her servants. Poor Garth, all he did was be Aquaman's sidekick. Life really isn't fair, is it? Are you happy, my dear? Yes, Oceanus. Happier than I've ever been. I know you would never betray me. I'd forgotten that true happiness sounds like petty pointed statements. However, Oceanus is having a really hard time nailing her down to a wedding date. She says that he should build a temple like they had in the old dimension, and he says he's on. And that they'll even have glorious statues. So he turns Atlantis into a slave labor force to make that happen. Mera is okay with this because Operation Spite Aquaman has no limits and knows no depths. It's when construction is near completion that Aquaman seems to remember in their cell, oh yeah, I control sea creatures, and has some come free them and create a distraction by tearing down one of the statues. Oceanus's, of course. Him and Mera, petty mates, soulmates, saltmates. But when they go to attack Oceanus in his bed as he sleeps, you know, like heroes, they discover it was a water projection. Oceanus was waiting for this. So how long was he just leaving that duplicate there for? Was it like weeks, months, just like, come on, Aquaman, make a move? I'm sick of their tricks and them. Sick of their tricks? This is the first time. Only the second if you count the first time you met. But suddenly Mera can't just let him be killed because she loves him or something. Also, she's had some time to cool off, you know, slave labor, statues, it helps you put things in perspective. I still love Aquaman and always will, no matter what he's done to hurt me. Look at her eyes. Be careful, Oceanus. No sudden movements. Despite her having the complete upper hand, he manages to bargain with her anyway. She bargains that if she lets him keep his powers and escape, he'll spare their lives. No, depower him. He has no leverage. Who can pull the trigger faster? A Mera who would turn the man she loves into a servant and allow his entire population to be subjugated would take that risk. But no, he flees, and Aquaman is able to explain what he really meant to Mera. And she's just okay with that and goes, oh, makes sense. I guess I'll leave forever now. It's Aqualad who stops her and says with all she did for Atlantis, shouldn't she be made an honorary Atlantean? I think captivity did something to Garth. Were we on the same adventure? Arthur thinks this is a great idea and suddenly realizes he's the king. He can do that. Loophole. Do Aquaman's people approve? Doesn't matter, it's a wedding. Everyone, I want everyone to share my happiness. You better do it or else. And so we get the last panel of what is described as the most gala event of all time. Superman says they make a great couple. Listen, Clark, after Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, you have lost the right to comment on relationships for all time. Garth looks happier about this wedding than Aquaman. What a story. What a wedding. I like that the wedding is touted as the main event and is literally one panel. The rest of the story neither makes a strong case for Aquaman being cool or their relationship. Their relationship does become very interesting and one of the stronger DC couples out there. But what a start. In general, it's not the strongest story. It makes the protagonist come across as fickle and irresponsible. Arthur comes across like he should not be king in this. Also, him becoming king is really treated like a non-event. That could have also probably used some cover time. The misunderstanding trope could be grating at the best of times, but at least here it led to some consequences of ludicrous and disproportionate proportions. I can see why this fact and this wedding isn't one they tout. I was highly entertained, but definitely not for the right reasons. What did you think of this wedding? Do you now fear Mera and her lust for vengeance? Do you have a soft spot for Aquaman? Do you also pronounce her name 2 different ways? Do you want Oceanus' shirt? Share all your thoughts down below. While you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to spend discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.